Okay, this is the dining area, and these laminate floors, wooden laminate floors, like in here in the, and this is the front entryway here in the living room. The moisture content in these floors was measured between 6 and 9%, which is generally considered to be dry. What we have here is the front door. It's nice and tight. You gotta be diligent about this. Locking it. You can't, the deadbolt will not throw 100%. It's not lined up properly. This is rice paper, wallpaper. I like it, got it in my house too. But it's a petri dish, so you pull that off, you can tell them what you're gonna get. Alright? It just comes with the territory, I know that. This is siding, paneling inside the living area. It's kind of bowing right here on this wall. This is all paneling in here. And these ceilings, a lot of them, even in the garage, these ceilings, okay, that's all popcorn. It doesn't have to be, but a lot of these popcorn ceilings, they have asbestos in them. So if you want to take this old dated popcorn off, you need to treat it with some respect, all right? This is the wet bar right here, and the floor could be in better shape, I guess. We can agree on that. I got a drip going here. It wasn't dripping when I got here. I used it to wash my hands. I'll explain that to you in a minute. Okay. This isn't working. Why aren't you working? It's not even on. See if that's related to a bathroom or something. That's interesting. For the wet bar area, there used to be doors here. Probably bifold swinging doors. It was the rage. Coming along in here we have carpet. Now on the east side of the front door, this is the first bedroom. Okay, and we mentioned this with the exterior. These are single pane aluminum frame windows. They no longer, that one's kind of rough. They no longer meet energy requirements. And you have some storm windows in there that's going to give you some relief. Also, additional maintenance and additional concerns. But it's my opinion it'd be prudent to budget for a window replacement. Now, do the windows work? Yes. Okay, were they acceptable when they were installed? Yes. Popcorn ceilings, carpet. This floor feels pretty crooked underfoot. When I'm walking across this floor, I can feel it. Alright? But I did more than feel it, I measured it. Now, I'm not an engineer. I'm using engineering equipment. I'm a measurer. I'm a blue-collar schmuck. And as a guideline, what people like I use as a reference, only a reference, not a determination, is our antennas go up after you have more than 2 inches of floor height elevation differential. So we start looking for other signs. This house, this structure, has more than 3 inches of floor height elevation differential. So that exceeds a guideline that I use. Now the ambient temperature inside of this house, it doesn't feel any different than when I got here. And the air conditioner was off when I got here. So what did I do? I turned it on a couple hours ago and it's been cranking, alright? It's just not working. Just like the condensing unit outside wasn't moving a lot of heat. I haven't taken the measurements yet, but I can tell you right now that they're not going to be acceptable. Alright? Electric service panels in closed closets are no longer acceptable. You don't have 6 foot 6 inches of floor height. You've got clothes in the way. Okay? Now, besides that, you have more than a 1/4 inch gap between the box and the sheetrock. Okay? Besides that, the bonding location is not labeled. Besides that, the main neutral isn't wrapped with white tape. Besides that, these white hots, okay, should have been wrapped with black tape so that any fool can understand it. Alright? So we're going to go a little farther down here. We have, that's for the grounding wire. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm getting carried away. Crack myself up. So we've got this one right here. Got some double lug neutrals coming in. We've got some wires touching the panel cabinet. Now, the two biggest sins is all this spray paint. All this spray paint. It's on everything. All right? It's in between everything. And these breakers were not in here when it, these breakers got some spray paint. Ooh, that's a loose one. Huh. All right. Probably goes with the wet bar. But you can look down in there. So all these connections have spray paint on them. When they spray painted the interior of this panel, they wrecked it. At that point, it should have been condemned. The second thing going for it is this is a Federal Pacific service panel, load center, breaker box. All right. There's not a code that says that I should condemn this panel box based solely on its manufacturer. The Texas Real Estate Commission doesn't require that I do it based solely on its manufacturer. There's more of these panels in service than just about any other panel. That being said, they have a bad reputation. It's going to be a lot easier for you to buy this panel than it is going to be for you to sell it. I'm a hypocrite about a lot of things. All this stuff wrong with this house is wrong with my house. But I'm not a hypocrite about Federal Pacific breaker boxes. I've replaced mine. Neighbor's garage across the street from me burned down. Federal Pacific breaker box. A good friend of mine owns a furniture store in the same neighborhood. He's moved out of the neighborhood. His garage burned down because of a Federal Pacific breaker box. So if it was me and my family and my cats, I would replace this panel. I'm not saying who has to replace it. I'm not saying the seller's going to replace it. I'm not saying you're going to replace it. I'm not going to say it's going to be replaced. But I would replace it. And it's going to be a lot easier for you to buy this panel than it is going to be for you to sell it. Because when a home inspector sees these panels, some of them run out into the street, trying to call 911 on their cell phones. They really have a bad reputation. People really get excited about them. But a little bit of perspective. If this house has a Federal Pacific breaker box in a service panel, this house has one. Every house on this street has one. And I didn't pass any burning houses on the way over here. However, one was being remodeled, so you never know. Let's see here. This one, back in the first bedroom. Okay, pull strings are no longer that no longer meets our requirements. This is the pull down attic access ladder. This is the switch to the whole house vent fan down here. This is switch that fan. All right, that fan does not work. Doesn't matter. That fan should be removed, and the ceiling should be repaired, and insulation should be added. Because metal is a very good conductor. There's no insulation up there. I'm not going to find any. And so that's a sieve. That's where all your money, the dynamics of home ownership, energy goes up. And so right here, that's a heat sink for your house. And that's where all your money goes. Right through there. This is the only smoke alarm in the house. And it doesn't work. You should have carbon monoxide alarms outside the bedroom doors. Probably 2 of them would service this hall. Combinations would be smoke alarms. And then you should have a smoke alarm inside of each bedroom. You should have a smoke alarm in the common living area. Okay. This is the pass-through bathroom. All done. Nice. Bath. This bathroom has a vent fan, and not required with bathrooms that have operable windows. But this bathroom doesn't have a vent fan. And I did not see a vent outside or on the roof, so this vent fan improperly vents directly into the attic space. Separate handles, you should have a single handle so that children don't accidentally scald themselves. There's separate handles, that's all dated. Alright. Coming in here, a window, I'm going to measure this. But bedroom windows should not be higher than 44 inches, even if that's not 44 inches, and I believe it's real close. Okay? But children, how are they going to get out? Firemen, how are they, first responders, how are they going to get in? Nobody's going to move this window. I'm just making you aware that the window's high. We've got pull chains. This is the third bedroom. I went from the bathroom into the third bedroom, by the way. Pull chains coming through here. Now, we're getting good now. This is the hall. This is the other water heater. Okay, now this water heater is an old Bradford White. Alright? They're both 40 gallons. The one in the garage closet. Now, this water heater That one's 5 years old in the garage. This one's 21 years old. How long do they last? They last about 10. So it would be prudent to budget for replacement. It's got a lot of the same problems as the other one. Well, actually, it's bolted up nice, but this should be insulated, that should be insulated. Now, there's a lot of discussion about these corrugated vent pipes not being to code. There's no code that requires you, that prohibits you from doing that. What the problem is this is threaded, okay? And so that could be capped off. But that's not a code violation. This is a code violation, and they had to put the threads on to connect it. So it being here is a code violation, but it in and of itself is not. There's the data plate. Yes, we do not have a safety pan. This does not have electronic ignition. All right. This, we still got the screens. And see how clogged that screen is? That's why they don't allow screens any longer. All right. So this closet isn't ventilated like it should. When I pop that cover off, okay. When I pop that off, I saw a lot of rust and a lot of scales in the burner compartment. Another reason to justify replacing this guy. But the interesting thing was, I was down on my hands and knees here. So I brought my little friend. And this goes with me washing my hands in the wet bar. So I brought my little friend. This is a continuity tester. All right? It's either wet or it's dry. All right? That is dry. All right? This is my skin. Well, I don't know how to do that, but this is okay. But just trust me. That's my skin. That's the moisture in my skin. But this carpet is wet. All right. Why? It didn't smell bad. I'm smelling pet, smelling something. It doesn't seem to be coming from the water heater, or is it? Where it's coming from. It's coming from the water heater. This water heater is leaking. It needs to be replaced. I probably should shut it off. I'll let this listing agent know about that. Coming on into the master bedroom. More popcorn ceilings. Alright. Coming in here, the plumbing, I'll just let you know that I opened this up. The plumbing looks pretty good underneath here. Ceramic tiles. Bathtub's got a nice little doohickey right in there. Alright. Shower is a single. Okay. Not the tallest shower in the world, but there it is. I'm going to back up here a little bit. No safety pan. No safety pan. So the fireplace hearth, okay, I'm going to measure that, but it doesn't look like it's 24 inches. You can't see this, but I'm pulling up my pants. Okay, these bifold glass doors, they should not be left half open like that. It's kind of loose on the hinges. They're either operated completely open or completely closed. Now, looked up in the fireplace chimney. Okay, I looked up there. I was seeing some white cracks. I lost my pointer. There you go. Use another pen. The grate looks like it's overheated, melted down a little bit. The chimney itself was dirty. The gas key is not present. More wood paneling. We've already discussed this sunroom. So we're coming on along through here. Coming in. I haven't tested this outlet yet, this receptacle, but I will. And this room does not have a vent fan, but laundries aren't required to have vent fans. And by the way, you've got an operable window. So we're just kind of moving on through here. When a countertop extends more than 10 inches, there should be a corbel underneath it supporting it. So basically, nobody sits on that. Looks like we had some moisture issues around here. I'll check that. I'd like to have done it beforehand. So moving on along here. Vent fans are not required in kitchens. They're nice to have, but they're not required. was looking for a pen. But since you have one, code says that this corner shouldn't be any closer to this corner than 24 inches, and that's about 18 inches. Now, different manufacturers have different specifications, and the manufacturer specification supersedes code, but if that's the case, I don't have instructions here. And this looks like those are recent installations. They're coming along behind here. Found my pointer. Come on. Along here, the wall has been ripped out, okay? So that's the fire blocking. So if this range melts down, there's nothing to keep the fire from going up this wall into the attic. An anti-tip device is not present here. So all that should have been done. Coming along here, you have a 1/2 horsepower garbage disposal. There's the stoppers and strainer stoppers. The dishwasher does not have an anti-siphon device. Neither one of these appliances have GFCI protection. It wasn't required when the home was built, but they don't have one. The age of this house, it'd be reasonable to assume, to bet, that there's an electric receptacle outlet behind that dishwasher, and that appeases the codes for being serviceable. But I can't see it, so that's what I'm going to write, is that I can't see it. Okay, over here, when they put this tile in this, it kicked this wall out, so we got this gap between the junction box. And that's a junction box. That's an outlet, and the appliance, that's called a receptacle. So this receptacle is sitting out here, and you got that big old gap inside of there. And so what that's called is they sell them at about $4 or whatever, goof rings. And so a goof ring should have been slid in there. It helps because it keeps it. I mean, you know, the fire blocking, that's the number one thing. It also helps with energy, by the way. Cabinets are a little beyond the scope of this inspection, but watch this. This hinge rubs on this cabinet, and so it's going to wear all this finish off. You can see where it's been working on it already. So it's a little bit out of adjustment, or you're going to have some grief about it. I turned the dishwasher on earlier, and this door is kind of weird on this dishwasher, and so it's gone through its cycle, and the soap dispenser's opened up. There's the steam. My glasses are clean now, but this door's kind of wank to close.